Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Sarthak Show, where we discuss about tech, career, product, and life. And in this MySQL playlist, we are going to move ahead in the terms of updation. So in the last video, we understood about how you can update multiple rows or rows in a single row in a table. What that essentially means that you can update the data of that table. But let's say you have a larger problem. You want to update the table itself. Let's say you want to update the column name or data type of the column, or maybe you want to add new columns. So how in change you want to update the table structure, maybe schema, or tables column values as in column name, column dependent properties, right? So there we have a command for that. Let me just introduce this. This goes hand in hand with update, but this is like a new command. So alter table, that is the syntax that we are going to use. Alter table. Now you have to mention the table name, and very interestingly, you have to use a keyword called change. For example, in the update command, you had set, now you have change. My bad. Change. Now I have to mention the column name. So old column name space new column name. Okay, new column name, and what you can also mention against with that, which is data type. Let's say you had int or varchar, you can do varchar 50 to varchar 100 or so and so forth. You can change the data type as well, but it should be a valid data type. You cannot change something like you had first name as a column before, now you want to change it as integer or maybe date of birth to a different value. So you cannot do these kind of data type changes where MySQL is not able to convert the data itself, right? And you can also do some kind of clauses that we use, something like not null or primary key or default values. So you will have meta information. So let me just write in meta info. Okay, my bad. Why is it not going on? Okay, meta information, right? This is the command that we are going to use. So what does that mean is that you can change parameters of a table as well. So let me just quickly give you an example of that. So let's say this is our table, right? This is the table that we have showed. I feel that the name of the column should be different. So it should be, instead of score, let's say I want to call it marks, and let me do that change. Or maybe I want to introduce a underscore to the marital status table. Let me do that. So I will write alter table students 2. Okay, what do I want to alter the table? Change. I want to change marital status 2. I want to change it to marital underscore status. Okay, this is how I want to rename this column, marital status. And I also want to maybe introduce certain other values. So let's say I want to introduce, I already have a default value over here, but let me do some changes over there. What I can do next, I can introduce restriction. So I can mention not null against it. Yeah, let me just quickly give you first one change and then we can focus on other larger changes. So this is just going to update students to marital status 2. And let me just quickly run that command. Okay, I have not used the right word. Okay, my bad. I think I should have to mention the data type as well, what I want to change to. So let me just quickly write that. Okay, before that, I want to see what is the current status of this table. DSE students 2, right? This says that I have a name column, marital status as this is enum, right? And yes, and default is not NA. Okay, these are the values that I know about my table. Let me put it again with the same kind of change. So I'm going to put this and I'm going to mention enum and change options as married. Comma single comma NA bracket close. I think this should work, right? So this ideally changed our table from this to this. It should update the column. So let me just give you the walkthrough. Now the field has changed. If you see carefully, The structure of table has changed the name as well here, right? This is how you can update the things over here. An interesting part of that is if you don't want to change the name of the thing, but maybe the data type or maybe different things. So let me do that for you. So update table. Okay, so my bad, alter table. The alter table, students too. And I want to change the name of the column. So change name to again name, but I want to update the type of it. So I will write varchar, and now I want to increase the length as well. So I would do it as 50. Okay, varchar 50. Now you can see the name column has remained as it is same, but varchar 50 is the new type of it. Let me quickly put these changes in the sample command so you can try as well. Control C, sample command. And again this other table, other command. See, now you have noticed that in case you don't want to change the name of the column, it's a redundant thing that you have to mention the name of the column twice, right? So there should be a good way for this. So MySQL provides you another clause which is modify instead of change, where you don't want to change the name of the column, but maybe you want to change the structure in a different way, maybe type of it or maybe other restrictions. So you can use that as well. So let me give you the syntax for that. Alter table, again table name, and want to use the command modify. So what this ideally should do is, this is where you want to change the structure of the column, but you don't want to maybe change the name of the column, right? So this is how you can use a modify command. This is what I feel like modify should come into picture, where you don't want to do that. So modify, and you can simply write column name, and you can put the new values over here. So yeah, let's say I want to change the data type of it, or maybe the length of it. I want to introduce a default value against it. You can do all these things. So I'm just writing, maybe I should use this one. So new parameters, new meta slash parameters for the column table. So yes, this is the command that we are going to use if I don't want to change the name, but actually the structure of it. So let me just quickly give you an example of that. Okay, so this is the current table that we have. Let me just put it again back to varchar 40. For example, I don't want 50 as a length. So what I will do is update alter table. I've written alter table, right? Alter table. Students to modify. Again, the keyword is modify. Modify, I want to modify what? Name. And I want to introduce varchar. And I want to introduce the length as 40. Okay, what this does is it will just modify the name of the, as in the column type, and not the name. So let me just give you these students too. Now the name has varchar 40, right? It has no new parameters. Let me also modify this table and introduce a default name. So I will introduce default name as not available, not known, maybe, right? So what this does is it will default the known. So you have now a new entry in the default values. If you see this, I have varchar 40. I have not changed the name of the column, type of the column, but I have introduced a parameter called default value. So this is how you can introduce different things in this part. You can update a column or name of the column, or you can update the type of the column. You can introduce it as not null. So let me just go and put and update this column as not null as well. So let me just do that. In the same table, I'm going to push not null. Now if I see null is no against this, so name cannot be empty. You have to always give a name. So why I can put it not null? Because by default it is going to pick not known as the default value of the name. Now I can put it not null. So all the new entries that are going to come into the table, if the person has missed the name, it won't affect the table status. Let me give you an example where I want to change the type of data type of the column, but it is not going, it should not work ideally. So I am on the alter table, and let me just try giving an example where I am changing it to int and maybe length 10. Okay. Correct. Incorrect error, because integer value Sarthak Jain for column name. If you know that in the, let me just write the query itself. Select star from students. Right. There was the first entry Sarthak Jain. It tried to change the name as in entries of that column because it affects all the rows. It technically affects all the rows, but it couldn't because Sarthak Jain could not be identified as an integer. It's a alphabetical string, and so it cannot convert it into integer. It cannot identify that, so that it showed an error. So I'm just going to put all these commands into the sample command. Let me just quickly do that. So all the table for this, Control C, sample command, command V. Okay, if I want to do default value, introduce default value, I'm going to do that. If I want to introduce not null entity, I'm going to do that. And lastly, if I want to introduce change which is not feasible, I'm going to do that. I'm going to mention a quick comment over here that error when not correct. Error when not correct data type. See, if you have not introduced the correct data type while changing, it will introduce an error. So this is the cheat. I'm going to push it on my GitHub. You can check that out in the link in the description box below and get that information. I hope you enjoyed this video. In the further videos, we are going to understand how you can introduce a column to the table and everything. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. So folks, I want to give you one very big announcement. Newton School has started with their own full stack development course. They want to introduce more about full stack, and this is the best moment for you. They are going to teach you everything from scratch. You are going to learn everything about full stack development, front and back end and databases and everything from scratch. And the best part of that is it's a zero fee upfront course, so you don't have to pay anything for joining this course and start. And also you are going to learn about projects, different things in this course. You're going to build some very cool, awesome project for your resume, for your everything, for learning part as well. And the last bit, this is going to be very helpful for you guys, is that they are also going to get you placed at startups and MNCs. So they are going to assist you for your placements, for your jobs as well. You are going to get placed at startups, MNCs and everything. So what's the best deal that you can get? You're going to learn and you're going to get jobs. So you can check out the link in the description box below. It has all the information, all the context, and you can know what they are teaching and what the project that you will be working on. So stay tuned to that, and please check out the link in the description box below.